to strap in. September is here, and it's probably gonna get wild. From whispers of a Bitcoin ban lift in China, whales scooping up billions and billions in Bitcoin as salad fingers continue to fumble their bags. We're about to dive deep into big moves and the even bigger questions facing Bitcoin this month. Will Bitcoin moon or will Bitcoin doom in September? No, don't wake me up when September ends. Let's find out now. Send it.
The question will be whether the totality of the data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks are consistent with rising confidence on inflation and maintaining a solid labor market. If that test is met, a reduction in our policy rate could be on the table as soon as the next meeting in September.
Good old September, the dreaded month for Bitcoin. Historically, this has been a month where, well, the bears come out to play.
Love you.
In fact, we've seen 8 red Septembers in the last 12 years. Are we in for another bloodbath?
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero. Zero.
Or is the stage set for a breakout like we've seen after the previous dips? Remember, guys, 2012, 2016, 2020 all marked the end of bearish cycles and the start of explosive runs. Will 2024 follow suit? On one hand, we got some bullish action like this. You all saw J Powell in the intro. The Fed is pivoting to low rates. This is usually Bitcoin's time to shine, and the US Fed sets the tone for the global economy by adjusting target interest rates for the supply of new dollars through daily lending markets. And now that the Fed has called for rate cuts to shore up slowing labor markets with inflation, interest rates will begin to fall again and prices are likely to start rising. The more liquid the market for a trading asset and the more high growth its future prospects are, the more leverage it tends to move against the benchmark. For the previous 3 cycles, the daily new issuance was cut by half. 1 year after the 2012 halving, Bitcoin was up 50,000%. About 18 months after the 2016 halving, it had gone up 8,500%. Fed interest rates were functionally 0% during the entire post-2012 halving Bitcoin bull market. However, Bitcoin still delivered market-whopping alpha compared to stocks in the 2016 cycle. The Fed began steadily hiking rates in late 2015, reaching 2.4% by mid-2019. What happened to Bitcoin? Bitcoin surged to above 64,500 on Sunday, August 25th, after Fed Chair Jerome Powell announced on Friday that the central bank would soon begin cutting interest rates. Now, Bitcoin has corrected but found support at the prophetic 58K range, but did fall as low as 55K, similar to the last 2 corrections in August and July. But all of this seems to signal that the Fed pivot is emboldening, well, the bulls. Not to mention, if you haven't been paying attention, Bitcoin is going to Washington. The embrace of Bitcoin by major figures of both parties, well, it's very promising for long-term Bitcoin support. As markets grow more assured that the U.S. government groks Bitcoin and has the will to back the Bitcoin industry, Andrea Barbin, a Swiss University of St. Gallen finance professor, recently told Forbes this: while Bitcoin has often been viewed as a hedge against economic turmoil, its future performance could hinge on, well, the upcoming U.S. election. But regardless of how Republicans or Democrats parcel up the levers of power this November, well, Bitcoin companies are beginning to wield enormous influence in Washington. They have made the most political donations, including crypto, of course. Now, what's smart money up to? Why don't we check in on Michael Saylor and Blockstream CEO Adam Back? Spoiler alert, they are outlandishly bullish for Bitcoin this cycle. Saylor recently confirmed in August that he personally owns Bitcoin in an amount worth some $1 billion at current prices. Adam Back, meanwhile, has an $80,000 Bitcoin price target in view. Back commented in late August that financial company Cantor Fitzgerald's $194 target for MicroStrategy stock implies an $80,000 Bitcoin price. And that would represent a 33% gain for Bitcoin over its $60,000 long-term support levels since March. Now, why is smart money betting on further price increases of this magnitude for Bitcoin? Well, they believe Bitcoin is poised to become a major world reserve for massive private and public treasuries to engage in international trade and beyond. Hold on, don't get too comfy. It's not all sunshine and ponies. We got bears lurking in the shadows. Check this out. According to research company Kaiko, there is a looming threat of a $33 billion Bitcoin supply glut because several governments have stashes they might want to offload, which is kind of awesome. That's separating money from state. I hope they choose poor. Plus, recovered Mt. Gox funds are being restored to their owners. And history has shown us that when defunct exchanges decide to dispose of their assets, Bitcoin's price can suffer in the short term. Now let's get to these Bitcoin ETF paper hands. Andreas Antonopoulos warned about this years ago. Now that Wall Street is interested in cryptocurrency, its buying and selling pressure affects the price. And September is usually a month of selling on Wall Street since, well, 1950, making it the worst month for the asset class. And as we covered in our last episode, we saw the selling had started in Bitcoin ETF markets, which saw outflows of 4 consecutive days from August 27th through August 30th, totaling 454 million. And again, that was from Farside Data reporting those numbers. Remember, Bitcoin has only generated positive returns in September 3 times in the last decade. Not to mention the US's political cycle. You know how it gets clowny every 4 years? Well, that leaves financial markets uncertain until democracy has prevailed again and another peaceful transition of power. Yada yada. But typically, the big money waits to make its moves until after Election Day. Will all these bearish pressures outweigh our bullish momentum? Will the bulls charge ahead? Tell him, Giga Chad.
Diversification is selling the winner to buy the loser. All those dudes in suits that practice diversification, they didn't get rich because they diversified. They got rich because they instilled fear, uncertainty, and anxiety in a bunch of other people who then gave them their money and agreed to pay 2% management fee and give them 20% of the upside. You're a retiree, you give them your money, you give them your life savings, they charge you 2% a year, and then they tell you that it's too dangerous for you to own Apple, it's too dangerous to own Bitcoin, it's too dangerous to own Google. You can't do that. That's irresponsible. So here's what happens next. You give them $1 million at 2 and 20. And if you actually understand statistics or financial modeling, and then you just take that $1 million and invest it in the S&P index, and the S&P were to go up 10% a year, they get 4% a year, and you get the other 6. Which means that you just gave them 40% of your money. You had $1 million and you just gave them $400,000 and you got the other $600,000 back. And so if you ask yourself the question, who are the people telling you diversify? It's the people selling you the diversified funds, or they hold themselves out as these brilliant diversifiers. And what they're really doing is taking all your money.
And now is China ready to lift its Bitcoin ban? Rumors are swirling this could happen as soon as this month, like this week. If true, this will unleash a tidal wave of demand and a whole new level of legitimacy for Bitcoin globally. I think it's banana time. What in the world is the banana zone? It's that unpredictable space between current Bitcoin prices and the next significant resistance level. Bring on the banana zone. But then look at this crap. We got miners offloading Bitcoin like there's no tomorrow, and yet whales continue to buy. This tug of war between supply and demand is what makes Bitcoin just so exhilarating. I know. Rustin, enough with the bullshit. So what's the strategy for this month? Well, here's what we're looking at. Historically bad month. Check. Major potential catalysts? Check. Lots of uncertainty? Hell yes. Check. Stay calm. Keep stacking sats. And hold on, because there is no stopping this train.
What happens, and it's already happening, with governments regulating more and more Bitcoin?
They can't regulate it. It's like just when Brad Sherman, the representative from California, came out last week and said that we need to shut down the cryptocurrencies because it's interfering with the dollar as being the hegemonic force in the world.
Right.
It's cutting into the oil industry. It's cutting into our ability to wage wars on a whim without having any accountability. And that was a huge advertisement for Bitcoin.
We're seeing banks penalize firms and institutions that use Bitcoin and say, if you're dealing with...
You don't need a bank. We can transact without a bank. The bank is there to secure funds and to settle funds. If I'm dealing directly with you, I don't need that bank. In Africa and those other countries that don't have banks, they're leapfrogging ahead because they don't need banks. Okay, now banks are fighting a rear guard action. They're looking back and they're saying, we're going to, shut you guys down how are they going to, they have no way to do that. You can't stop gravity, you can't stop math.
Hey, remember, Bitcoin's success isn't just about luck, it's strategic. As Michael Saylor says, the play is simple. Accumulate and hold. Keep your eyes on the prize. Don't get distracted by the noise.
Crypto, you don't need the anxiety. Before you bought the bullshit fantasy coin, your life was good. But then you made some money and became greedy. Now the bullshit coin is and nobody can tell you when it is going to be unfucked. Even the motherfucker who convinced you to buy the bullshit coin, who told you that it is going to be the next big thing, that motherfucker is nowhere to be found. You are on your own. And all you can do is cry about it in the shower and hope and believe that your bullshit coin will go up in price again so that you can sell it and make some money and buy some more and then get f***ed all over again. That is crypto.
Hey, stay out of the shitcoin casinos and get your corn off exchanges. And if you need help with that, well, we got just the guys to get you covered. Simply Bitcoin Originals are powered by the Bitcoin Way. They bring over 25 years of cybersecurity experience. They are your IT team in the Bitcoin world. They help bridge that gap from the why Bitcoin to the how Bitcoin. And as your dedicated Bitcoin IT team, the Bitcoin Way is here to guide you from start to finish on your journey to properly self-custody your Bitcoin. From your first wallet node to advanced multi-sig security, inheritance planning, and much more, the Bitcoin Way has got you covered. And if you're looking to get started, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation using that link below. Hey, the September showdown is just getting started. Will we see a historic breakout or another sell-off? Let us know what you think below. Keep it locked in with Simply Bitcoin for all the latest updates. Smash that like button, subscribe for more, and share this video with anyone you know who believes saving in fiat is a smart move.
We call them poor.
Give us a pap! Guys, what if 60K is the new 9K? No one is ready! Hey, I'll catch you all next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.